This is Danny Flexen here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by the English super welterweight champion, Sam Gilley. Sam, how are you?
All good, thank you, mate. You?
Yeah, good. It is Gilley rather than Gilly, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah.
I want to start off by getting the pronunciation of your name wrong. Yeah, so you were due to defend your title next week, but that's now off. You were telling me earlier. Just tell us about that and how long you've known for.
Mate, just boxing being boxing, really. I mean, it was nobody's fault. I think it's a great fight. I mean, Drew's undefeated. I'm the champion, so it's a great fight, and I think there was a possibility it could have gone on a bigger show, but and by the time that fell through, that was in March. By the time that fell through, it was too late to go back to this date. Like there was only a few weeks left, and there was no way So, because obviously you can't just steam through a camp the whole way through. You've got to take off to make sure you peak at the right time and etc. So, and by the time that fell through, we was then too late to go back. So then we're just waiting for another date, which hopefully will be April.
And you're still sparring. You were saying earlier you had to go and spar. So you're obviously thinking that the fight's going to be relatively soon.
Yeah, well, I mean, hence the shiner. I mean, I've been down with Anthony Fowler twice this week. I was with Pat McCormack last week, Felix Cash the week before that. So yeah, I mean, listen, it's great for me. Even when I'm not in camp, I'm getting out the gym. I'm getting rounds in elsewhere and keeping myself sharp, learning things while I'm out and about with Rod and Jordan, who's been getting rounds in as well. But yeah, because I mean, listen, like every fighter loves the sparring part of it. So that, and I think that's where you learn the most. So we've been trying to get that in. Well, with
that's some good quality fighters to spar with that you just listed there. Who's responsible for the shiner?
It is Anthony Fowler, actually, on Tuesday. Yeah, I've not had one for a while, to be fair, but he's got a very stiff jab, and I was surprised. Yeah, he caught me one on Tuesday, and the eye come up. But
he's middleweight now, isn't he?
Not good. He's a middleweight now. Yeah. He is. Yeah.
So maybe he's packing a bit more snap in the jab.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, we've been down there twice this week. We've done 6 each of him on Tuesday and 5 each of him today. So yeah, he's looking good, mate. But he's got a very, very stiff ramrod jab. So yeah, good experience again.
And he's got a fight coming up, of course. But you said you sparred Felix Cash recently. He's just fought against Magomed Madiev, which was a really good fight. I think we all enjoyed last weekend.
Yeah.
What have you kind of learned from those sessions with Felix?
I mean, Felix is just. I don't think I've sparred someone that fit, and he's just relentless. And I mean, yeah, he's a big, strong boy as well. So, I mean, it's hard work, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? But I mean, the angles he creates for the right hand and stuff like that. He's a really talented fighter. But and obviously you just learn loads being in there with him.
You moved up to super welter after suffering your first defeat, very tight one on the cards against Danny Ball at welter. Yeah. Were you thinking about moving up even before that fight?
Oh mate, I was I thought about it after the Southern Area fight against Curtis Felix, but because I went down to McGuigan's this week and he would not have that I was a super welter. He thought I was a super middle. So even now I'm still big for the weight now. So how on earth I was doing welter? I mean, when I was younger, it didn't hurt so much. But I mean, Fowler come out of a good explanation, like a good analogy the other day. He said when he boxed Smith, he felt like he was punching underwater, and that's exactly how I felt with Danny Ball. Just that one too many times doing the weight, and yeah, you just feel like there's just nothing left in the tank. I mean, I got back to the corner after round 2 after doing 10, 12 round spars, and but Andrew Phil went absolutely gone, mate. And yeah, it was just one too many times for me. So and it's. I mean, I had 2 fights in the space of a month at the end of last year. And, I mean, it didn't feel like I'd done a weight cut.
Yeah, so much better situation for you to be in now. And, yeah, you came back with a good win. Then you beat Korsakis for the English title. Just what are your reflections on that? Career best performance?
No, not really. No, not at all. I mean, he come out like an absolute lunatic, to be fair, Korsakis. I mean, he come out throwing some absolute bombs. And the one thing we worked on a lot in the build-up to that was not sitting over to my right hand side, obviously southpaw. And he had a big left hand. He'd knocked out Denton Vassell, so you don't want to sit onto that left hand, especially early. And I come out in the first round, missed the jab, and I sat to my right, and he hit me with a big left uppercut, and I was just like, oh no! I felt my eyes, this same spot to be fair. I felt the eyes start to swell, and it took me a round or so to get my range and to calm down. And after that, Rod said to me in the corner, it was what was that gone? It was great. It was great corner work from Rod, to be fair, because I was jabbing and moving, because our plan was he throws a lot and very hard for 4 rounds and then slows down quite drastically. So and I was boxing and moving, and Rod said to me, I think it was at the end of round, at the end of round 3, he said he's inside, he's too slow. He would hold your feet, and you will see gaps. He would just hold your feet for me and have a little look. And the next round I walked out, held my feet a little bit more and see a gap, took it, and that was the end of the fight.
Good stuff. Now, you mentioned Rod a couple of times. That's obviously Rod Julian, your trainer, manager.
Yes.
Just tell us a little bit about him, because he's kind of one of the unsung heroes, if you like, in the corner in British boxing.
Oh, mate, listen, he's like, people like we're the English champions. You know what I mean? It's me and him. Like, without it, like, I was landscaping before I met him. I had no aspirations of turning over, and I wasn't a very good amateur. And I walked into his gym just to have just to flick out on the bag. He went, "You're quite good, you, aren't you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm all right." And he stuck me in with one of his pros at the time, and I'd done really well on the spar. And he went, "Come back down." And then literally, he said to me at one point, he went, "If you give me your dedication," he went, "I'll give you everything you've wanted since you were 11 years old." And mate, I've never knocked nobody out in the amateurs. I never gave no one a standing account in the amateurs. Since I've met Rod, I've been knocking people out. I've won the Southern Area. I've won the English. I've boxed on some amazing shows. So, mate, without him, there's no career. So, I owe him everything.
And you mentioned the landscaping there. Do you still work at the same time as boxing, or are you full time now?
No, well, before COVID, I was full on. I was full time, but like, if I've not got a fight, I might go and do a bit of work here and there. And yeah, but when I've got a camp, I'm lucky enough to have some great sponsors where I can knuckle down, focus. I can train twice a day, and yeah, so I'm quite lucky.
How important is it to your kind of future progression that you link up with a big promoter, a TV promoter, ideally, and get on those shows regularly? I know you fought Danny Ball on a Warren show, but obviously in the away corner that time.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, listen. The way we've always said we want to do. I didn't have an amateur background to put to a promoter as like a CV and say, "Listen, I've won this, that, the other," because I didn't win anything. So we've had to do it the hard way of making our name on the small scene, win smaller titles, and it was just a shame that one time I got on a TV show, I felt how I did. But I mean, we still ended up having a cracking fight, even if I felt like I was underwater. It was still it was still a very, very tight fight, but in a way, I'm glad I did lose that fight, because if I'd have won that, I probably, if it say like he got the British after that, if I'd have won that and now for me the British, I'd have probably stayed at welterweight, and that wouldn't have been, it just wouldn't have been good. So I'm glad that, like, everything for a reason, it made me move up. But yeah, it is vital to link up with one of these pros soon. I mean, I'm 27 now. I've been doing this since I was 11 years old. It's time to earn some proper money. I believe. I mean, the super welterweight division is wide open. I mean, everyone's moving up or isn't boxing at the minute, so. I mean, there's some great opportunities there. I mean, you got Troy Williamson, who's a British champion. I think he's in his 30s now. I'm assuming he'll be moving on soon. I know he's defending his title against Mason Cartwright. Yeah. But I'm assuming he'll be moving on to European bigger things soon. So, and then other than him, mate, around that sort of level, I don't see really anyone who's going to be a problem.
Yeah, well, it looks like Cheeseman might be retiring, doesn't it now? And as you said, Troy will fight Mason Cartwright, and then yeah, probably look to the European. So yeah, wide open. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, but to get these sort of opportunities, you need someone behind your back, do you know what I mean? So this is where we need we need to sign on with someone big and start promoting me a little bit. I mean, I've like I said, I've done everything the hard way. I've done everything through ticket sales. I do good tickets. I'm always in good fights. So, and I mean, I've always said I wanted to do. I say this a lot, the traditional route, because I didn't have the amateur pedigree. I think it was important for me to win the Southern Area, the English, then go on to the British and have them fights along the way to learn and have these big spars that I'm doing in between camps to make sure I'm learning my trade the whole way through. Do you know what I mean? I don't just jump to a certain level, but now I feel like I've done that apprenticeship stage and I feel like I'm ready for a bigger stage and a bigger platform.
And you mentioned the sparring earlier that you've had Felix Cash, obviously British champion, Anthony Fowler's fought at that similar top domestic level. What do those spars tell you about ability-wise where you are in that mix?
Oh, listen, I mean, I'm there. We have brilliant spars. I mean, they always have us back. Do you know what I mean? So, but I know myself, and Rod believes in me as well. I believe in my ability that I can go and win a British title, super welterweight, and then go and push on as well. I always say I'll take it one step at a time, one belt at a time. But the next thing I want is a British title. Great
stuff. Have you got a family of your own yet? Have you got kids or anything like that?
No, mate, I haven't got kids. I still act like one, to be fair, so I don't think it's a good idea having kids. But no, my missus is only young, so I mean, we got together just before lockdown, so we've not even been abroad together yet. So like, we've nearly been together for 3 years and we've not been abroad. So we've got a lot of catching up to do. I'm going to Orlando at the end of April. Hence why I definitely need to fight in April, because looking at the prices of things over there, I need to have
a fight.
I need the funds for the holiday. But no, I mean, I've got like my girlfriend Amy. She's amazing with me through camp. My family are always supportive. My uncles, my mum, my dad, they're great. So yeah, I'm very lucky to have the setup that I do, and obviously you got Rod behind it all as well.
Boxing wise, either when you first got into the sport or even more recently, who do you kind of look up to?
My hero was always Ricky Hatton. That's what got me into boxing. Me and my dad sat there and watched Hatton's You, because I always used to like wrestling. Yeah. And I used to be like, oh, wrestling's real. He'd be like, no, it ain't. I was like, oh, it is. And one day he got me, he went, right, sit down and watch this. And sat down and watched Ricky Hatton, and I was like, oh, that's good, that, isn't it? And that was it then. I was just boxing mad. And then I went down the local gym and it all started from there. But yes, it was Hatton for me. The way he used to bring out a fan base and stuff like that. And I see quite a lot of what, like, as a personality wise, like in myself, like I'm just one of the boys from like just down the local, and I get on well with everyone. I think that's why I do good tickets. So, yeah.
No wrestling anymore then?
No. Do you know what? I watch wrestling now, and I'm like, mate, why did I used to watch that? Why did I used to watch that? Like, you can see them rabbit into each other, going, all right, do this next. And you're thinking, but when I was a kid, I used to think it was so real. Like, I would row with my dad till I was blue in the face saying that this was real. And, but yeah, that in a way that caught my interest into like boxing entertainment. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. In front of a crowd, but yeah, so I reckon that had his part to play as well.
Good stuff. All right, well, fingers crossed the fight, either that fight or a fight, gets rescheduled before the end of April, and maybe we'll do this again after the fight.
Yes, 100%, mate. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No, anytime. Really appreciate it, mate.